Hey everyone, welcome back to the RPGames YouTube channel. My name is Ralph, this is Pathfinder Kingmaker. We are on the border of Pitax. We're about to enter Pitax and take part in the Rushlight Tournament. And before we can do that, I really need you all to hit that like button and leave a comment and subscribe to this channel. I've been struggling to reach 100 subscribers. So, yeah, maybe that's because your content sucks. That is a possibility, of course. Anyway, we're gonna kick some butt in this tournament. How about that? Let's head into Pitax. At least we're allowed now. Are you kidding me? The guy's name is Castruccio. Okay. Yeah, they also call him the Castration King. There we go. King Iravetti greets you personally. The bulky Kellet is broad-shouldered and looks to be somewhere around 50 years of age. His golden crown sits on long, greasy hair above a heavily powdered face covered in bristle. And his expensive doublet is stained with oily spots. He guffaws as he squeezes you in a bear hug, enveloping you in the mixed scents of sweat, wine, and expensive perfume. Oh great, we're on hugging terms, are we, Iravetti?
Well, my crown-bearing brother, welcome to my home. Stuff yourself, drink, be my guest. You've proven yourself in combat as well as affairs of state. Let's see how you do at having fun.
We're gonna pat him on the back. I'm happy to finally meet ya.
It's no good for kings and queens to stay in our palaces all the time. We need to meet, be friends with one another. It's all about keeping up neighborly relations, you know.
Yes, I know, and while I was in my palace, I've kind of taken over, like, almost all of the stolen lands, except for, like, this little corner of the realm, which irks me, Iravetti. I feel the need to expand my territory.
So here's the plan. First, the Fish's Triathlon. Then a boasting contest. And in the evening, the best part, a drunken melee. In the interim, there'll be a buffet, a fair, jugglers, acrobats, all the usual entertainment. And after the melee, I'll announce the winner, and then we'll have a festive banquet and a fireworks show. Then we just drink till morning or find a tent to crawl into. Your own or someone else's, depending on your luck. By the way, a knockout such as yourself will always be welcome in my tent. Just joking. Just a joke.
You fancy my beard, don't you, Iravetti?
Oh, and one more thing. I'll have to seal your sheath. This is a peaceful celebration, after all, and bullies will be kicked out immediately. It doesn't matter if it's a king who decided to kick up a row or just a shopkeeper. So behave yourself and don't start any fights while you're here.
Yeah, that's fine. I have plenty of magic.
Well, I have to go. If you need anything, talk to Nunzio Arpaia. He's my master of ceremonies, so he's responsible for organizing this mess. Have fun.
I'm sure I will. Well, you know, at least he greeted me in person. I mean, that's something, right? Let's see if we can find someone around here.
In
this
due
like
time.
the some guests from Mivon? There's a trader. Let's see if we have some Pitaxian stuff here. Okay, so we did find a nice weapon, weapon upgrade for Gren, actually. Yep, alright. And of course, where would we be if we don't loot the place, right? I want to take a look. Maybe I can find some Pitaxian potatoes and check out if they're better than my, you know, my own potatoes at home. Uh-oh. There is a drunk bully. A young man staggers towards you, his expensive doublet wet with wine. As he passes, he brushes shoulders with you and starts yelling, his breath rank with alcohol. Watch yourself! Who do you think you are, you pig? You tramped on my foot and ruined my doublet. I demand satisfaction. Well, we could intimidate him. Best not anger me. I've put away more people and monsters than you have bottles over the course of your waste of a life. Get out of here while you still can. Hey, sorry, I confused you for someone else. My mistake, these things happen. Yeah. Silly bullies.
Follow my lead.
Silly bullies. Karn Viril, who is that? The gnome's yellow bloodshot eyes scan the faces in the room nervously. Noticing you, he grabs for a sealed sheet. What? Who are you? Oh, it's your royal highness. Forgive me, I didn't recognize you. An honor, truly an honor. I'm Karn Viril, a simple salesman. Oh, Arya. I told you I'm a simple salesman. Why would a king concern himself with me? He wouldn't. What is it you sell? What do you care? Fish and the like. Okay. Who might you recommend I meet here? No one, everyone. How should I know? I'm just a simple salesman. Leave me be. Yeah, that was a enlightening conversation, I must say. Aymar de Shams. Amid the tournament's frivolity, you notice that two men nearby are having a heated but hushed discussion. One wears flashy clothing fit for an entertainer, whereas the other wears the steel armor and red cloak of Pitax's guard. It's difficult to hear what they're saying. Let's try stealthy. Okay. The two huddle near one another as they speak, and due to the ambient laughter and music, you can only overhear part of their conversation. Up to Aymar, but I know that look, you're planning something. Talwyn, the celebration is just we had planned for, but can we really stand by? Seen it with my own eyes, and especially like you. Well, that's a useful conversation. Pitax needs now is action, and I intend to act. The entertainer looks up, spots you and smiles as Talwyn frowns and sadly walks away. It's a rare day that life emulates screenplays, Your Highness. Could it be that heroes have arrived in people's time of need? Oh, heroism, that's exactly what we do. See that symbol on his clothing? That marks him as a member of the Red Crescent Theatre in Pitax, a fellow artist. Imagine the stories we could write together. What seems to be the problem? I first arrived here 5 years ago, answering King Aravetti's call for artists and actors made Pitax, a new crucible for the arts. Admittedly, the king dedicated plenty of money to building new theaters and schools. Art only thrives, though, when there are visitors and patrons to pay for it. And that's where Ervetti has failed. The Pitax River is our lifeline connecting us to the outside world. River pirates know it, and they prey upon incoming travelers. You might think the king would thwart these pirates and defend his people, but no, he's only sent escorts to protect key shipments, leaving everyone else to the pirates' depredations. The tournament, it hides how we suffer from the king's inaction. Now, when the king's soldiers cannot or will not vanquish the villains, what happens in the stories? That's right, heroes step in. Numerous victims have told me of the attacks, and I've pieced together the approximate location of the pirates' camp. If you can ambush and defeat them, traffic will flow, commerce will thrive, and you'll command the adoration of the boatmen, dock workers, artists, and more. Naturally, I'm prepared to write a play dramatizing your exploits. What do you say? Before I accept, I have some questions. The wisest protagonist always has questions. What would you like to know? How many pirates are out there? It varies by the report. The camp could have a few dozen, so you might try to take them by surprise. Why hasn't the king acted against the pirates? Well, that's unclear. It might be like our soldiers, perhaps it's like a will. Leaving the pirates alone might also undercut political or economic enemies in some way, but at what cost? Is there a reward? Well, the term starving artist was fairly common in Baldur. Perhaps you haven't heard it before? I do not have much wealth, but I can help you win the people's adoration. I also understand that among the theater's props are a few enchanted items of actual value, so perhaps I can entice you with those. I'm always ready to thwart river pirates. I accept. Then it's settled. I'll write down the directions real quick, and when you're done, you meet me in Pitax so I can hear your account. No doubt the magistrate will be pleased to stop getting piracy complaints too. I hope you'll arrive in time to see my latest production. Speaking of which, I'm already late to oversee its rehearsal. Utter drivel. This man is an amateur and his work is an affront to art. Now that's more like it. Let's go crash those pirates, and we'd better not waste time here. I don't like Pitax or its people. Everyone's always trying to cheat you or swindle you or drag you into some other cunning scumbaggery. I consider this a little preview. Good hunting. Okay, but there's still not much tournament going on. A Pitaxian warden standing there. A box to loot. I can't resist.
Not my lucky day.
Aw. Good thing we have some backup.
Some other way needed.
Nope. One more.
Won't work.
One more.
What a bother. I can't.
Okay. That was everybody. Sorry. We failed. Guests from Timon. Okay, well, let's see what's in the barrel. Maybe there's those Pitaxian potatoes that I wanted. There is a manticore standing around. Why is that? Oh, it's in a cage. Okay. A battle of spellcasters. Zinmurgia. Okay, and this is Mysteriado. And a bunch of guests. Okay, well. interesting. We could bet some money here, but I guess. Come, come, don't be shy. Witness secrets not meant for mortal eyes. An ethereal battle within a vortex of the supernatural. Bets here? Place your bets. 500 gold. Oh boy. Who's gonna win this? Mr. Yato is, I guess. Is that this one? Oh wow. I did win. That's interesting. Maybe I should have asked for the rules of the game. Looks like it. While everyone is distracted, let's... oh, we found coffee. Okay. I think that's the first time. So there are a whole bunch of creatures in here. We're collecting all the booze, of course. I mean, of course. Stefano Mosconi. Let's see who that is. Since your last encounter, Stefano Mosconi has put on a little weight and his appearance has become even more festive. As you approach, a polite smile blooms on his face. Why even isn't King Gren Blackforge? Please allow me to congratulate you on your success. So we meet again, and not on the battlefield, assuming this tournament isn't a trap, of course. Of course it's not. It may be hard to believe, but King Ravetti's intentions are quite honest this time. Trust me. He'll make a move sooner or later, but for now he's invited you for the chance to see a new rival with his own eyes. I'll let you in a little secret. He actually thinks very highly of you. So Ravetti considers me a rival. I didn't think I'd given him any cause for a feud. The unfortunate reality is that your very existence, along with the strength of your kingdom, is cause enough. What would happen if you were to join Mivon against Pitax, or perhaps you might seek to extend your lands west and not stop at the border? What if merchants from Brevoy began traveling through your lands, bypassing Pitax entirely? And of course, the most important question, do you sit securely on your throne, and does Pitax stand a chance of expanding east? At least you're honest. I appreciate the warning. Think nothing of it. I have great interest in seeing how events will unfold. This isn't the first year the tournament's been held. Why was I just invited this year? Mean no offense when I say this, but both you and your state were frankly inconsequential. Not significant enough for our attention, but your victory at Brevoy's border and your subsequent coronation changed all that. In truth, King Ravetti only invites those he identified as worthy rivals to the tournament. Okay. It's a thing, so there is something that we missed. Let's see, the quest Electri. Is that a spell? Let's grab it anyway. Nunzio Arpaia. Your Royal Highness, welcome to the Rushlight Tournament. My name is Nunzio Arpaia, and I have the honor of being His Highness King Ravetti's Master of Ceremonies. You could say the organization of this tournament rests on my shoulders. If you need anything, I'm at your disposal. Tell me about the Rushlight Tournament. Since starting his reign over Pitax, His Highness King Iravetti has held this tournament once every several years, inviting guests from the high society of nearby kingdoms to attend. Today we have guests from Daggermark, Mivon, Gralton, and Timon. Fortunately, Provoy did not honor us with their representative this year. It's entirely possible that recent events and the stressful political climate have put them in a less than festive mood. But we're pleased to have your highness in attendance for the first, and I hope not the last time this year. What events are on the schedule? The tournament consists of 3 contests. First, the participants will display their strength and dexterity in the Fisher's Triathlon, a tribute to local crafts and trades, so to speak. Then we'll be measuring competitors' wits in a boasting contest. There is a reason we're the cultural capital of the region, after all. And finally, the evening will wrap up with some mock combat in a drunken melee. Then His Majesty will announce the winner of the tournament and we'll all enjoy a festive banquet, followed by splendid fireworks. Now, what about the flighting? I'm good at that. Okay. So we need to be here to start the actual tournament. So let's look around the area. Let's another box with goodies. Dre Yarnis. Just gonna talk to all the named characters here. Oh, a new face at the celebration. I'm pleased to meet you. Dre Yarnis, High Priest of Calistria, at your disposal. Do many Pitaxians worship Calistria? Of course. She's been the patron goddess of Pitax since its founding. The goddess likes our joyful town, and its citizens love her in return. If ever you visit Pitax, you would surely enjoy the proud spikes of her cathedral. It's the most beautiful building in the city. Who might you recommend I meet here? Oh, there are many prominent people here as usual. My first recommendation would be Maestro Anamede. Many would give their lives to exchange words with her. She's Pitax's best singer and the finest of its women. Alright. Anamede. Oh, there, she's right there. Okay. Well then, let's first loot her box. Grab some Peridot. There we go. Hey, I don't care if you're talking to people. I'm the king, you know. Oh, we're starting with a Baron. Oh, it's gonna be like that, huh? Oh, Grand Blackforge, the famed Baron. Oh, no, excuse me. The king of the whole of Blackforge now has come to visit us. It's such a delight to see you here. Maestro Belavra, well, do you remember me? Ah, Lindsay, of course I remember you. You and your nonsense at the poetics exam. I hear you have your own publishing house now. I didn't take you for the entrepreneurial sort, but I'm happy you finally found your calling. Tell me, are the songs you compose for Iravetti as bold as the ones you sang at my capital? Have my humble verses so offended you that you still recall their sting? Please, your highness, it doesn't behoove a person of your standing to take umbrage against a petty bard. Don't you know the old proverb, the tunes are chosen by the one who pays the piper? Tell me about yourself. You could have easily asked any of my admirers who animate Belavria, because that's what it says right there. The game's wrong. It's Animate Belavria, okay, folks? I know how to read, okay? That'd be about 3/4 of Pitax, and the rest are all my haters. Hater. This reminds me of this I'm guessing everybody who's on YouTube has ever heard of Belle Delphine, but she has this video like I'm back or something, and there is this part in it where she sings about her haters as well, so that reminded me. You don't get to be the best among a city of poets and musicians without gathering a few enemies along the way, but why would I concern myself with hags and soreheads? What can you tell me about King Eravetti? Love him or hate him, you can't deny he's a great man. Pitax was a boring place before him, only pirates, fences and other scum did any business in the area. But then King Eravetti came and turned it into a cultural capital of the region. With him in charge, the arts have flourished and the city's been filled with songs, paintings and statues. I just pray that Calistria breeds the same love of the arts into the withered hearts of some of the other rulers in the region, who prefer to squander their resources on saber rattling. That ain't me. Some may say that King Eravetti doesn't have a taste for arts. Any successful person gets haters spreading dirty rumors about them. You should hear the things they say about me. Pay it no mind, our king is a man of exquisite taste with appreciation for all kinds of art. Does the king have any enemies? Of course he has enemies, lots of them, just like anyone who's actually accomplished anything in life. Take some of the old trade houses, for example. Liacenza and some others, whom he stripped of their power. They'd love to see him at the bottom of the river, but even now, in their mutual sorry states, they can't manage to work together. There's also Irse Kailesi, captain of the guards. He was just seething with indignation when the king brought new rules to the city. But who wants to listen to the whining of failures like them? Eravetti brought a golden age on Pitax. Tell me about the Rushlight Tournament. Our beloved king has run this tournament once in every several years. Since he took the throne, guests from all over the River Kingdoms come for it, from Daggermark to Mivon. It's a pity Brevoy didn't honor us with a representative this year. I guess the Eldori aren't in a very festive mood right now. On the bright side, we get to host you for the first time, and Calistria willing, it won't be the last. Are you all brainwashed to say the same lines? Is that like a dialogue option here? No? Okay. Who might you recommend I meet? Well, depends what you're looking for. If you're in the mood for pleasant company, well, you've already met me. And if you're in the mood for some schadenfreude, you could listen to the whining of Gasper Liacenza. His family lost the Pitaxian crown in a card game. Or maybe Atalia Gitarin, the headmaster of the academy, who seems to think her skill at bureaucracy makes her a good bard. And if thrills are what you're after, especially the shivers down your spine kind, then try speaking to Karn Viril, head of the Thieves Guild. Oh, okay. He's the head of the Thieves Guild. That's why he was a simple salesman, huh? Alright, well, that was... so there is apparently a captain of the guard that we need to talk to because he resents the king. And here is the headmaster. Greetings, your highness. I'm Atalia Gitaran, headmaster of the Academy of Grand Arts. Welcome to the tournament. Is this your first time here? I'll be honest, I'm delighted to hear what you've done with the whole of Blackforge. Not so long ago was little more than a hole in the ground. But you've brought it real civilization. Bravo! Lindsay has some interesting news for you. Yes, Professor Eobald found refuge in our capital, and you know that? He's writing his memoirs of his time at the Academy. I'm sure it'll be an entertaining read for everyone in Pitax. No, all of Aviston. A book, you say? How brave of him. I hope he doesn't neglect to include the details of his dismissal. What details? What do you mean? Eravetti kicked Professor Eobald out for just being too smart, didn't he? I'm sure that's exactly how he described it. They call him the insightful for a reason, after all. Anyway, forgive me, but I have no interest in discussing this topic further. If you'd like to exchange idle gossip, I'm sure you can find much more willing and interesting company here. I expect you know to whom I'm referring. Okay. So we've spoken to Italia. Hey, you can't be here. This is your Highness, His Highness, King Iravetti's camp. Oh, okay. So that is the king's quarters. All right. So let's look around. Maybe we can find the captain of the guard here somewhere. Sky Middle Cogwheel. All right, let's grab that.
I failed. I'm sorry.
Oh, here we go again.
Bad.
Forget it. Inappropriate. I'm afraid it's impossible.
Yeah, looks like it. These Pitaxian logs are impossible to crack. What a pity.
In due time.
There's another trader. I have to say, these traders all have like really cool items, but super expensive. What is this? The Pot of Splendid Glory. Okay, let's grab that. Dock workers. Walsh Salvaway. Several concerned dock workers crowd around a finely dressed half-elf who listens to the workers with imperious dignity. It's as we've been telling you, Judge. This is the third shipment in 2 months they've stolen from us. Can't keep that up. Doesn't matter how good the last year's business been. No cargo means no pay, and no pay means no new shipments. We asked you about the thefts before, and there's nothing changed. Where's the King Justice, Your Honor? The half-elf patiently motions for silence. It is true that pirates have taken route along Pitax River and attacked several shipments heading upriver. The king has... King Iravetti shall address the problem soon. However, he will hear no formal complaints until after the Rushlight Tournament. In the meantime, he advises that travelers downriver take care around Little Town. Until then, partake in the festivities and the king's generosity. If anyone has further questions or concerns, I'm at your disposal. A bright sash cuts across the man's chest, identifying him as a magistrate of Pitax. He makes a shallow bow while keeping his head inclined upwards, as if being polite while also conveying his superiority. May the king's law guide you at the Rushlight Tournament today. I'm clearly addressing someone important. Let's do some flattery. But I don't believe we've met. I'm the Honorable Walsh Salvaway, a magistrate of Pitax, judge of the people's concerns and executor of the king's justice. Hi, fellow judge. Sure, this is the most sincere, kind-hearted, charitable person you could find around here. I overheard you talking about stolen shipments. Is that a problem? Ah, yes, that. An outbreak of river piracy has caused some consternation among the citizens. Simply avoid or exercise caution near Little Town in the meanwhile. Perhaps Pitax would benefit from somebody who has a history of vanquishing bandits. Let us be clear. Pitax's armed forces are entirely capable of handling these criminals. There is no need for would-be heroes or aspiring vigilantes to get involved. Much less foreign interests. I recommend enjoying the rest of the festival. Who can he be so deaf to the people's woes, and he calls himself a judge? I knew a judge once. She spent nights butchering her own kin and then went on to become a zombie. This guy seems fine by comparison. I can understand his reluctance to allow foreigners to meddle in his kingdom's affairs. What I cannot understand is such blatant negligence of justice and the safety of his subjects. Okay, well, let's take some more looks around. There is a goblin merchant even. Okay. Well, I guess it didn't surprise anyone that the goblin merchant's goods were not very impressive. The Path of Splendid Glory, another book. Okay.
All according to plan.
Is this where we started? I guess it is. Okay, so there is a big part in the middle there that I still need to check.
As it should be.
Yes, okay. Here we are. Maybe we can find you can buy every lock seen in the contest and many more. What is he selling? Lock-picking contests. Test your finesse against the finest dwarven locksmithing. Correct the lock, get the prize. Who'll challenge the best dwarven locks of the Five King Mountains? What's going on? Do you know your way around a lockpick? Why not show off your skills? Here we have 3 chests bound with the finest dwarven locks straight from High Helm. One attempt is 500 gold. Open 1 lock and you get your money back. 2 locks and you get more than you paid. Open all 3 and you get the grand prize. Sure. Let's try this.
Anything else?
Okay. Can we open the second one?
I failed. I'm sorry.
Okay. Too bad. Can we try again? I guess not, huh? Okay. Oh, okay, we can.
Applause, please.
All right.
It's just not my lucky day.
And the second one we fail again. All right, well, at least we got our money back. There's some rocks up there. And I guess we can walk on top of them. So let's participate in this tournament. Did we talk to him already? Ah, no, we did not. Okay. An elf in leather armor scans the crowd intently. He seems to be the only one at the celebration not participating. He's also the only one besides the guards whose weapon isn't sealed. Your Highness, welcome to Pitax. Irse Kailesi, captain of the city guard at your service. Ooh, that's a big ask. You don't seem to be enjoying the celebration. This celebration is for you, for the city guards. It's just another working day, and right now our work is preventing disruption of the festivities. I thought Pitax was a city without laws. Where do the guards come from? Even pirates and smugglers have laws of a kind, and they need someone to keep their order. The city guard was created by the trading houses not long after the city was founded. We're paid by the citizens, not all of them like us, but they all understand things are better with us than without us. Erevetti seems to have a tight grip on his power over the city. Oh yes, the trading houses hate him, of course, but, well, first and foremost, he has hostages. Second, each of the families is afraid to act alone. They're all incapable of acting together. Casper Liasenza tried to unite them, but to no avail, and it's probably for the best, frankly. The last thing we need is combat in the streets. Erevetti can be blamed for many things, but at least he took power quickly and without carnage. Who might you recommend I meet here? That depends on the purpose of your visit. So, let's see. Casper Liasenza... I think we did talk to Gasper, right? Let's try this diplomacy thing. I hear you're not pleased with the way Erevetti rules. Ah, damn it. The rumors that get around. You know, I recently heard tell of a ghost in the academy. Turned out it was just a withered parquet floor that was squeaking. Okay. Unfortunately... So, let's see, do we have this, let's see if we can speak to this person. My regards, King Gran Blackforge. Gasper Liasenza at your service. Tell me about yourself. I'm the head of the Liasenza family and masters of what remains of the Iron Fox trade house. Trade house. There was a robot taking over the speech here in this game. Before Erevetti took the crown, it would have been my family receiving you at our house. Alas, we're simply guests at the celebration now. What caused you to lose influence? It's a dark and sordid story, and I swear I'd give my life to learn the full truth of it. Pitax was founded by 4 families and ruled by their 4 trade houses for centuries. We quarreled from time to time, of course, and property didn't always change hand peacefully. None of us would dream of impinging on another family's lawful rights. And then Erevetti appeared. We underestimated him, thought him nothing more than another adventurer like the thousands of others in the region. He handled matters quickly and chaotically, with assets running through his fingers faster than chips at a card table. His wealth grew rapidly, but he still wasn't a big fish, for a while at least. He invited representatives from all the trade houses to play cards. No one really knows exactly what happened, but by morning he owned most of the assets. including the crown. They suspected a rigged game and sent representatives from the families to discuss the matter with him, and then a wave of disappearances rolled across the city. My brothers, the former kings of Pitax, disappeared, along with many other honorable people, and Iravetti made it clear that the lives of his hostages would depend upon our obedience. He was the king, and our wealth and power lay in ruins. The citizens of Pitax seem to love Iravetti. It would seem so, wouldn't it? Yet appearances can be deceiving. Yes, he's made many rich and happy, but there are many more lives that he's dragged through the mud for his own endless celebration. Trust me. There are many who would gladly put an end to his rule, but the king has so many spies that everyone's afraid to even discuss it. Ask the head of his precious academy, Italia Gitaran, what she thinks. Or maybe High Priest Ray Yarns. You'll see their mouths shut tighter than an oyster shell. Who might you recommend I meet here? I'll do better than to tell you who you should avoid. There's a gloomy, sickly-looking gnome wandering about, Karn Viril, chief of the so-called Thieves Guild. He's Iravetti's primary business partner, and they understand the word business quite broadly. You said the so-called Thieves Guild. What is it he really does? Certainly not picking pockets. The fellow came from Numeria shortly after Iravetti started his reign. I won't lie, the Pitaxian trade houses occasionally made some questionable deals, but before Iravetti, those like Viril were driven from the city faster than you can say first dose is free. The man's a drug pusher. He sells his bloodbrush extract. They say it enhances all senses extraordinary and evokes vivid visions, but also affects the mind and could be toxic in repeated doses. I saw those who overuse it. They could not put 3 words together, because of for real, half of the city's youth is on this trash. Ooh. Take the gold, supply poison to his subjects, their very soul is black and venomous. And Iravetti's pleased as punch about it. The more time the citizens spend in altered states, the fewer questions they ask. The gnome also uses his own product. It affects both the body and mind. He fears his own shadow, seeing deception and trickery everywhere. Those who deal with him hope for fabulous profits, but they, more often than not, end up at the bottom of the river. Well, now, I'd say we are about ready. Here we are at Nunzio. We're ready to start the tournament. I'm ready to participate in the Fisher's Triathlon. Let's begin. Trumpets sounded over the arena, announcing the commencement of the Fisher's Triathlon. We were to distinguish ourselves in 3 sports, if you call them such. You be the judge, dear reader. The first round was fish carrying, if you can believe it. They built narrow bridges over pits of mud and placed barrels on either end, one side filled with fish and the others empty. The goal was to get all the fish from one side to the other barehanded without falling into the mud. Sure, this is just what you imagine for a royal tournament. Throwing fish at your opponents was prohibited. But there was one unofficial but well understood rule in this tournament. Don't get caught. We had to decide which of us would participate as well as how fair we wanted to play. Oh boy. Yeah, it's gonna be trying to cheat. Ikondayu, the cheating cheating dude. Competing honestly among such company would be more embarrassing than losing. As Ikondayu ran across the bridges with heaps of fish in his arm, he deftly tossed a fish beneath the feet of the Gralton competitor, who slipped and fell into the mud. Another fish found its way right to the dagger mark's competitor's forehead, sending him down alongside the Graltoner. The judges didn't notice a thing. We won the first round. The second round was untying knots. Competitors would be tied up on poles resembling ship masts and they had to escape the ropes. We once again had to make a choice. So we noticed the sharpened coin glistening in the dagger mark competitor's mouth and the Gralton participant had a blade in hand. We exposed the cheaters, leaving us with fewer rivals. Yes. Let's do that. Expose them, Lindsay. The judges escorted the cheaters out of the arena, the crowd laughing and whistling all the while. With a third of the competition gone, Lindsay easily outpaced the others, entangling the ropes and making her way to the judges, while the others still wriggled in their bonds like flies in a spider web. We'd won 2 out of 3 rounds. We seemed to have our victory in the bag, but with the rivals we were dealing with, there was no time to relax. The last round of the tournament was diving for river pearls. Huge tubs were filled with mussels and river water, and some empty jars had been placed on sets of scales. We'd have to open the mussels with our bare hands, gather the pearls and deposit them in our team's jar. Of course, if playing fair wasn't a priority, we could try weighing down the jar with other things as well. Yeah, we're gonna have to take this one, but it's probably not gonna work. The opaque jars on the scales just begged to hold more than pearls, but the judges were more careful here. As soon as Lindsay tried putting just one innocent little pebble into our jar, she was caught red-handed and escorted from the arena, the crowd laughing and whistling all the while. Meanwhile, some of the other participants used the distraction to put handfuls of stones and even nails into their jars. Great. Okay, that was one contest. Let's head into the second one. I'm ready to participate in the boasting contest. The tournament continued with a boasting contest. Let's see. The first participant, a man from Daggermark, stepped up to the podium and told a raunchy story about him sneaking into the Temple of Calistria and seducing all the priestesses, including the High Priestess in a single night. The crowd was particularly amused by the suggestive glances he kept casting towards one of the guests from Timon. She simply smiled mysteriously in response. The second participant was a guest from Gralton who told a completely implausible tale about his travels across other planes where he battled undead hordes and defeated a blood-curdling monster. He was an average storyteller at best. He'd be lucky to get a C for that story at the Academy. But the listeners were inexplicably elated, suspicious. We took a closer look at the crowd and, of course, we spotted a bard using some tricks of the trade and likely a little magic to aid the Gralton man's performance. Yeah, we could just we could just kill this bard. Yeah, why not? We snuck upon the bard, stabbed him in the back and disappeared. The bard collapsed to the ground, choking on his own blood. By the time the crowd noticed, we were long gone. Needless to say, the audience impression of the Gralton participants' performance was ruined. Then it was Pitax's turn. The kingdom's honor was represented by Anamid Belavera, a sweet-voiced singer whose smile could win over the most withered of hearts. Oh, Anamid! Oh, Anamid! But while her voice was smoother than silk, her words stung like arrows. With a soft smile, Anamid told everyone how she'd spent months in her kingdom learning our secrets and instigating a riot. Of course, the honest trade of the bard and the shady dealings of the spy often go hand in hand, but oh, Anamid! Who could have expected such an ugly blow from such a lovely lady? She described in surprising and exceptionally critical detail how much the citizens of our young state suffered under the atrocities of the troll assaults and the magic plague. She never stooped to actual lies, but she made it sound as though our king, Baron at the time, was simply drinking and debauching while his subjects struggled. Well, there might have been some drinking. I cannot confirm nor deny this allegation. She made her crusade against Fortecai look like a cunning conquest of Farnhold, and the war with the Tiger Lords was characterized as an irresponsible venture. Talk about cruel and unfair. When Ennemede finished and left the stage, it was our turn to perform, and what feats did our participant decide to tell in their performance? In response to Ennemede's story, he recounted how we dealt with Tartuccio, another one of Irovetti's spies. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's go, Valerie. With your scar, it's gonna help intimidation. Looking meaningfully at Ennemede, Valerie spoke of the sad fate that befell the last of Irovetti's spies, and what may be in store for any other spies we might come across. The audience hung on her every word, sometimes laughing uncontrollably, sometimes holding their breath to avoid missing anything. Valerie finally brought the story to an end, and the viewers gave her a standing ovation as she left the podium. The woman from Timon, a priestess of Calistria, went last. She told stories of her love affairs in faraway countries and on other planes, casually mentioning an unpleasant disease she'd contracted over her journey that took her a long time to get rid of. Hearing that, the participant from Daggermark paled and grabbed his belt, bringing roaring laughter from the rest of the audience. And finally, the judges announced the winner, Valerie. She walked up to the podium to thunderous applause and took another bow. That's not Valerie on the barrel there, but you know. I'm ready to participate in the drunken melee. Hey! Okay, I guess we are doing quite well so far. I think we killed some people there. Sorry. Learn the results of the tournament. Okay, is that the tournament is finished, isn't it? I'd like to know who won. Okay.
Lords and ladies, another Rushlight Tournament has come to an end. I'd like to thank all of you who honored this event with your presence. My friends, I'm happy to see all of you, but I'd like to give a special welcome to one guest who found themselves invited here for the first time. Today, we had the Baron, no, excuse me, it's King now, isn't it? Of a majority of what was once the Stolen Lands. Thank you for coming, my darling. I can call you that, right? I thank you with all my heart.
Yes, I'll visit you in your tent later, Irovetti. It's okay.
I first learned of him from my friend Stefano Mosconi. To be honest, his report was less than flattering. Impassable swamps, monsters galloping about, and a complete absence of any valuable resources. Nothing more than a dirty hole ruled by another bandit lord, hardly worthy of your attention. That's what he wrote back then. I'm so happy he was wrong. Truth be told, even now traveling that domain is a less than pleasurable experience. Some roads have appeared, but their safety leaves much to be desired. Take the sad story of a poor Toman Henvaki from Gralton. He set off to those lands and hasn't been seen since. His brother Idrist went to find the poor fellow, and what happened? The Baron found the body in the blink of an eye, almost as though it was stored in his cellar.
Asshole. Yeah, Intimidate is gonna be our best option here. Ravetti, my friend, it's uncomfortable how much attention you lavish upon me. How about your kingdom? How many bodies are found in Pitax's harbors each year?
Yes. Well, I believe we've fallen a bit off topic. All I really wanted to get at was that His Highness is a personage truly as extraordinary as his lands, and I'm happy to see him at this celebration. And now it's time to announce the winner of the tournament. This year, no one managed to win all 3 contests. Since the victories all belong to our neighbors here and Pitax, as the chief judge, I'll be rewarding the prize to Pitax for their grace and skill.
Of course. We are neutral, so we're not gonna say anything.
I must say, I was hoping that this year our debutante, my friend here, would show his worth. But I suppose it would be strange to expect him to display more talent during the contest than he does ruling his tiny country.
We're just gonna stay quiet.
Oh, well, why attract any more attention to a group of losers than they deserve? And now, with the competition over and the prize awarded, let's get on with the main part of the celebration, the banquet. I can hear your stomachs growling from here. Let's get to the table, and later we'll see an unforgettable fireworks show.
Alright, that was the tournament. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a like or a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It is free and it helps me out a lot. And thanks for watching. We'll continue. We'll go to this Pitax river bend in the next episode. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next episode.